What's up, beautiful geeks? Welcome to another iGeek Soccer review video, and today we're going to be talking about this guy. This is the New Balance Furon V6 Pro FG. For those of you guys that might not like Nike, you might not like Puma, you might not like Adidas, you don't like all these other brands, this might be for you. It's a speed boot. We're gonna unbox it and we're gonna talk about it in detail. If you're new here, I do review videos like this every single Monday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button below and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you have any question, hit the comment box below. I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. Enough talking now, and let's get the review started. I'm pretty excited about this one. The color is pretty nice, so let's go.
We were still in college and your girl's boyfriend friends was always trying to holler, not a lot.
Okay guys, so before we get started with the review, as always, let's go ahead and unbox the shoes and see what comes in the box. The box look like a regular New Balance box, nothing special here. Open the box, you have one pair of shoes. You have this guy right here, and you have this guy right here. That's pretty much all that comes in the box. No string bag, no nothing, only one pair of shoes, and it's an empty box. So that's pretty much all that comes in the box. I'm gonna throw this aside here, and now let's take it apart. Let's talk about it in detail. Okay guys, so welcome back. So let's take it apart. Let's talk about the shoes in detail. Now before we get into a detailed review of the shoes, let's first talk colorway. Let's talk logo positioning. Let's talk about it first. Let's talk about this little things first before we get into a detailed review of the shoes, of the boot. So first, colorway. Simple yet beautiful. I love the colorway. It's all blue. I'm not a big fan of blue in general, but I feel like this thing kind of really stands out. For those of you guys that like blue, this is definitely going to do it for you. You have an all blue shoes with a call out of orange, with a hint of orange every here and there, especially when it comes to the call out. So you have the New Balance call out there on the forefront of the shoes there. And of course you have the speed thing going on there. Because it's a speed boot, you have the fit wave call out here, which is also in orange. You have the lining, which is also in orange. And the inside you have the Furon call out, which is in orange, but the insole itself is kind of dark gray or dark grayish color. Outsole, you have the studs are orange, but the outsole itself is blue with a bit of a sprinkle of orange all over the outsole. Same concept as the lace. The lace is blue, and you have a sprinkle of orange on the lace itself, and the tip, as I said before, it's orange as well. You have the Furon call out there, which is also in orange. So as far as color and the call out, logo call out, that's pretty much all you get for it. It's a very simple colorway, but it's a very beautiful colorway. I love the way it looks. I love the simplicity of it. It just looks nice. As I said, I'm not a big fan of blue, but it just looks nice, and you have to give props where props is due. I do love the way it looks. Now, a little bit of backstory here. I remember when New Balance first said that they were gonna get into the whole soccer thing. New Balance is not a new brand, it's an old brand. I mean, we back in the day in high school, right? You used to rock your New Balance, keep it clean all the time. So New Balance I was well aware of New Balance, but New Balance was not a new brand at the time when they said they were gonna get into soccer. I was pretty excited about that. I got the first New Balance Furon. It was a love-hate relationship. I loved the way the shoes look, but I hated the fact that it was very stiff. It was not flexible, and I didn't like that at all. Because they had to come out with a bang, and that's their way of coming out with a bang, with something different. But I didn't like the fact that it was so stiff. I didn't feel like it was flexible enough, but that was a long time ago, and I've always stayed away from New Balance because of that. And it took me a while to get this one too, but I got it, and I'm pretty excited about it. But this is because this is different, and it feels a lot different than the Furon that I got way back when New Balance first announced that they were gonna come out when they're gonna go into the whole soccer industry, the soccer shoes part of things. So enough backstory. Let's talk about this guy that's in front of us. So the upper is a knitted upper. New Balance has what they call the fit wave upper. It's a stretch knitted upper, mostly on the forefront of the shoes here, like this section here, from this section here all the way here. It's a knitted upper, same concept as the knitted upper on most of Nike's boot, most of Adidas's boot. Knitted upper feels very well. I'm a big fan of knitted upper shoes because they just tend to mold to your feet. They tend to just kind of like help you get that one-piece upper feel, but then gives you that flexibility when you move around, when you're trying to do tricks, when you try to do some dribbling. It allows your feet to just kind of move around, but it still holds it in place. It doesn't restrict it, but it gives you that flexibility to move to allow your foot to move around when it needs to and hold it in place when it needs to. So same concept here. You have an all-kneaded upper, and of course, as I said, they call it, and this is what you have to call out there. They call it a fit wave upper or fit wave technology, whatever you want to call it. But again, as I said, it's a kneaded upper. New Balance just had to come out with a different name for it to make it sound fancy. So pretty much that's the main part of the upper. Now let's talk about it a little bit more in detail. So as you go into the forefront of the shoes here, especially the striking zone. So striking zone from here to the forefront of the shoes here to here for the weird people that shoot the ball on this side. Hey, we don't judge over here, but you have this kind of like elastic material or plastic or synthetic material laid on top of it, and you have this bump, this 3D-ish feeling to it when you run your hand through it. And I'm assuming New Balance has put it there because of control, because it allows you to control the ball better. It allows you to have a bit of a bump or a bit of a 3D-ish design for better striking when you strike the ball. That's what New Balance would say. That's what Nike said when they add a little bit of extra on the shoes. So I'm assuming that's what New Balance is saying as well when they add that there. Gives you a bit of a flexibility when you're striking the ball. It gives you that bit of a rugged feel here when you're striking the ball. So you allow the ball to curve, allow the ball to go where you want it to go. Now, one of the reasons why I'm pointing this out here, you can tell that if you move up a little bit here, it feels like this little dots that you see here are also up here as well, but around here and around where you see the plastic or you know, the synthetic material laid on top of it, it's much more vivid. It's much more defined. When like with the kneaded upper where you don't see the plastic, it's not as defined as it is where you see the elastic material, I mean the synthetic material laid on top of it. So as far as the upper go, guys, that's pretty much all you get for the upper. You have an all kneaded upper, and then also you have this guy right here, which is an elastic kneaded sock line. So same concept, like a low cut shoes for Nike. You have the elastic kneaded sock line to allow your feet to kind of give you that one piece upper feel, because as I said earlier, you know, on knitted shoes, it's a good feeling shoes because it allows that flexibility. And when you have something like a elastic upper, it just gives you that feel, that one piece upper feel that we've all come to enjoy and love when you play on the field. So you do have the elastic knitted upper on this guy right here to help give you that one piece upper feel when you play. The lace section here, this can almost pass as a laceless shoes, because if you take this off and you wanted to play with it and you don't put in the lace, again, I know it sounds redundant here, but again, you have that knitted upper, you have that elastic knitted section here, the elastic knitted color right here, which, well, not color, but the elastic knitted ankle brace right here, which really helps just keep the shoes locked down, which really help keep the shoes in place so you don't do too much moving around. For those of us that, for some people, I do too, that like a fitted fit, not a tight fit, but a fitted fit. The lace is there to kind of pull things in a little bit to help give you that. So you don't have to worry about, oh my God, it's fitted, but it's not fitted enough. So if you do want it to be very fitted, that's what the lace is for. And the lacing system is a bit different from what I've seen on other boots. Of course, you have like kind of like this design, like, you know, you have one hole here, one hole here, one hole here, one hole here, instead of just one to one, one to one, one to one. It reminds me of the Feature 5.1, where it gives you the option to kind of play around a little bit and lace the system the way you want. But of course, that's not the same concept here, but it's very similar to that. So that's one thing to expect. So that's pretty much all you get for the upper of the shoes. So now let's walk away to the inside of the shoes and let's talk about the inside of the shoes. What is inside of the shoes? So let's talk about the inside of the shoes, the insole. Now, one of the things that I love about the insole or the inside of the shoes is the sock line. Oh my God, the sock line is extremely well padded. I mean, you can literally see it. I don't even need to say it. You can see the padding almost like coming out, right? You can see the padding from here to here, from here to here. It's very well padded. It feels very well. It's a nylon-ish synthetic feel to it, but it feels very well. It feels very soft and it feels extremely well, almost as if your feet is just gonna land in there and it's just gonna feel comfortable, feel at home. And I love that about that. I love that about this boot. It feels very well. I gotta give him prep for that. I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I like the way it feels. I love the way it feels. It feels very well. It's the little things that you don't really pay attention to. Those are the things that can make the difference when you're playing on the field. Because a little bit of extra cushion here that you see can just give you that stability that you need, can give your feet that comfort that you need to be able to play for like a long time and run and feel comfortable without wanting to take the shoes off. But they did a good job with the padding here. The insole itself, the insole is removable. It's not too padded. It's not very well padded as far as the insole go. But then again, you know, most insole, this is a speed boot. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that with speed boot, a lot of people love their speed boot to be light. We don't want it to be heavy. And this boot is pretty light. And some of the ways that you can cut some weight on these boots is the little things like not adding extra here. But I can see why. I know that it doesn't add a lot of weight, but not adding extra here just maybe might cut a little bit of weight off of it. And I love that. It's not too heavy, it's very light, and it does what it's supposed to do. And of course, they add this little extra here, which I much more rather than add this here and then leave this like this, because I prefer this more so than this. So it's not too heavy. It's grayish black. You have a Furon call out. It's very light and it is removable. The midsole has like a little bit of nylon stuff to it. You have this little design down here. I don't know if this is designed that way for like grip, so you don't move around a lot. But it's a knitted upper, it's a knitted shoes, it's a knitted boot. So knitted boot tend to keep your feet in place and allows you to move only when you need it to move. So you don't have to worry about that much. So yeah, in the inside and the midsole, you have a nylon feel to it. On the forefront of it, you have kind of like a ruggedish, rubberish feel all the way on the forefront of the shoes there. But that's pretty much all you get for the insole. Love the sock lining, very thin insole itself, and kind of like a combination of like a nylon on the back and a rubber on the front of it. Very rugged on the front, so I'm assuming it allows for some sort of grip stability in place so your feet don't move around inside a lot in the boot. So that's pretty much all you get for the insole of the boot. Let's move to the outsole. Okay, so let's talk about the outsole of the shoes. The outsole of the shoes is good looking. Let's get that out of the way. It looks good. I love the design of it, the colorway and everything. I love the design and the colorway of it. It's a nylon chassis. It has a nylon chassis for the outsole. And one of the things with the chevron studs, of course, and then you have a TPU on the studs itself, on the tip of the stud, it's like a TPU studs tip that you have on the outsole of the shoes. One of the things that I didn't like about my first Furon that I got was that the outsole, the shoes itself was not too flexible. The outsole was not too flexible, right? But things have changed a little bit. At the forefront of the shoes, it's a little bit flexible. It's flexible, it's not extremely flexible. As you can see, I can bend it, but I can't bend it all the way. The midsole of it, not the midsole, but the middle of it, it's not that flexible, right? It's not as flexible as I would like it to be, but the forefront is flexible. And again, it's a knitted upper, so I don't expect the outsole to be like extremely flexible, especially when it's a knitted upper. Because if the forefront is flexible, that's fine for me. Knitted upper allows your feet to move around, so there's a bit of compromise there. It works for me, and I love that about. I don't necessarily. I love that about knitted upper, and I don't necessarily want the outsole to be very, very flexible. It would be great if it's extremely flexible, because it just allows you to like really move around with the boot the way you want to when it comes to changing direction and things. But the forefront here is not. It's flexible, but not too flexible. The midsole is definitely not flexible. I would have wanted to be a little bit more flexible, but I wouldn't take away anything from it in terms of the flexibility of the outsole. So as far as the outsole go, guys, that's pretty much all you get for the outsole. Let's go ahead and test the boot. We've pretty much covered everything about the boot. So let's go ahead and test it out and see how it feels on our feet. Okay, so all in all, the boot feel extremely well. I really love the way it feels in my feet. It feels well, it feels like a knitted upper. It lays perfectly, my feet lays perfectly in there, so I don't have no problem with the way the boot feel whatsoever. It's a fitted boot. It's not a tight boot, but it's a fitted boot. Yes, you're gonna need some time just to break it in a little, but not an extensive amount of time. You're not gonna need a whole bunch of playing time. One game, your feet should be perfectly fitted and perfectly used to the boot, and that's one of the things that I love about knitted boot. They just fit well, and there's no exception here. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to go a size up, you don't have to go a size down. It's a perfect fit for those of us that like fitted shoes, not tight but fitted shoes. That's it for the review, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I'll make sure I see you guys next week, and as always, do not forget to stay geeking. Peace.
Chain stand, but they don't want these problems. Let the top fold, ride slow, let them know